MrBeast might be the king of YouTube stunts, but lately, his empire's been looking a little shaky, like a Jenga tower right before someone rage quits. First, he rented out the literal Egyptian pyramids like they're some luxury Airbnb. Cool, right? Except it's not sitting well with a lot of people, because they're one of the 7 wonders of the world, not a film set. Then there's the Beast Games, where contestant Amanda Rose claims she got knocked to the ground, kicked in the head, and walked away with a traumatic brain injury. Between ancient tombs turned into playgrounds and contestants leaving with more than just a thanks for playing, it's raising a big question. Has MrBeast's content finally crossed the line? I'm HanPan, and today, we're diving into all the chaos, from Egyptian curses to Beast Games controversy, because things are getting real. Let's talk about MrBeast's next-level plan, renting out the literal Egyptian pyramids. Yep, one of the 7 wonders of the world, and he's treating it like it's an Airbnb. From what we know, he's planning to explore secret rooms, bring along ghost hunting gadgets, and even sleep inside. Like, dude, these pyramids are older than most countries. Not some luxury suite with room service. So here's the question. Is this a mind-blowing way to get people hyped about history? Or just a cringe-level disrespect to one of humanity's most iconic landmarks? A lot of people are calling it disrespectful, arguing that turning sacred spaces into content playgrounds is crossing a line. I mean, would you throw a slumber party in a cathedral or set up a YouTube studio in a war memorial? The pyramids aren't just ancient building, they're a symbol of Egyptian culture, history, and pride. Plus, let's not forget the optics of turning a tomb into a ghost hunting set. Like, bro, the pharaohs were powerful rulers, not guest stars for your video. I am an evil lich said this. Been a MrBeast defender for a while, since even if he does shitty things, he at least uses some of his money in good ways, but man, this shit just turned me against him like WTEF. On the other hand, this whole stunt has been approved by the Egyptian government, who are hoping it'll bring attention to tourism and make history cool for younger audiences. Let's face it, most people don't exactly click like on textbooks, so maybe this could spark some curiosity. And it's not like MrBeast hasn't taken big risks to entertain before. It's kinda his thing. And of course, the memes have already started rolling in. One tweet joked, MrBeast getting the pharaoh's curse after eating lunchly near a tomb, and honestly, the internet stays undefeated. Whether you love or hate the idea, you have to admit it's got people talking. But while this is just a plan, his Beast Games actually happened, and it left more than a few contestants with scars. Let's talk about Amanda Rose, a MrBeast superfan who signed up for the Beast Games hoping for a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Spoiler alert. It was unforgettable, but for all the wrong reasons. Amanda didn't just leave the competition empty-handed. She left with a traumatic brain injury. Imagine this. Amanda's sprinting for a briefcase, focused and determined, when bam, she gets hit so hard she ends up on the ground, dazed and surrounded by chaos. In her words,
there were 4 teams of approximately 400 people each. And so the trick was to get a green briefcase, and then you would move on to the next round.
So when you're looking at them, can you tell which ones are red or green?
So that is the entire game right there. And because what you would need to do is mentally map those briefcases.
Yep.
The rule was we would line up around it, and on the word go, we would make a run for it. Oh, and whoever touched the briefcase first is the one who got it. And so I'm running, and I never saw it coming, because what happened was just a few aisles down was this center corridor. Well, apparently what someone else decided to do was to run down and then cut in.
Run and cut, right. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just running my heart out, and when I just feel the and so I mean, it's just so shocking, and I remember that, like just my whole right side, and
you just felt that blow.
I felt the blow, and then I remember just I'm on the floor and realizing I could be trampled.
Look, accidents happen in a crowd of over 1,000 people. But here's where it gets questionable. Participants were explicitly told no pushing, tackling, or shoving. So why wasn't there a better plan to handle injuries when the inevitable chaos struck? Amanda wasn't just knocked down, she was left to fend for herself, and the disorganization didn't stop there. Before Amanda even arrived, the chaos started. She was sent the wrong travel itinerary for someone in a completely different city, and ended up driving 6 hours to the set. 6 hours. Then after the competition, she had to drive herself home with a concussion she didn't even realize she had.
I drove myself back with a concussion because
oh my gosh.
I didn't actually realize I had the concussion until I had driven myself back.
Let's pause for a sec. You're telling me nobody on set thought to check if a woman who got knocked unconscious might need medical attention? Not a nurse? Not an ambulance? Not even a Band-Aid? In a production this massive, where's the basic safety protocol? That's not just sloppy. It's negligent. Amanda isn't out here trying to cancel MrBeast, though. Her bigger point is about transparency and safety. Contestants weren't warned about the potential dangers of the games. And despite being mic'd up and singled out as a story contestant, no one followed up on her injury. As Amanda put it,
and not worry that someone else is going to be injured. And if they are, God bless them, let people make their choices, what they're going to be involved in. Let them have their free choice to do this thing.
Now, let's be fair. maybe this was just an isolated case of bad luck, or maybe it's a sign of something bigger, a pattern of disorganization and oversight issues. And Amanda's story isn't the only one raising eyebrows. So, what do other contestants have to say? Opinions about the Beast games are all over the place. Amanda's story paints a picture of chaos and negligence, but not everyone agrees. Check out this comment from another contestant, largely blown out of proportion. If 10 people get injured out of 2,000, that's an incredibly low percentage. It's impossible to guarantee safety in shows like this. If Survivor, Fear Factor, or any Japanese game show had 2,000 people, somebody would likely get hurt. I didn't hear of anyone getting hurt in the Prime show. Just a few in the Vegas. Everyone knew what they were signing up for and did it anyway. I ran on a 2-3 week grade 2 sprained ankle in the Vegas series, fully aware of the risks. There was a learning curve for the staff on day 1, but after that, it was smooth sailing IMO. Okay, sure. 10 injuries out of 2,000 doesn't sound like a big deal at first glance. But let's break it down for a sec. Amanda's story isn't just about a freak accident, it's about something deeper. She was mic'd up as a story contestant, the kind of person producers are supposed to keep an eye on, but when she got injured, it was crickets. No help, no follow-up. That's not a tiny mistake, that's a major failure. And what about the whole no physical contact rule? Yeah, that was about as effective as the "do not try this at home" warning on WWE. With over 1,000 contestants running around, those rules should have been locked down, but Amanda's story shows they clearly weren't. Now, to be fair, pulling off a show this massive is no walk in the park. Mistakes happen. It's inevitable with that many people. But here's the deal. Mistakes shouldn't include contestants driving home with concussions. That's the kind of stuff safety protocols are supposed to prevent. It's like running a theme park with 2,000 guests and saying, only 10 people got hurt, so it's fine. No, that's not how you measure success. And here's the thing. These split opinions aren't just about the Beast games. They raise some big questions about MrBeast's ever-growing empire. Okay, let's take a step back because MrBeast's content is always about going big or going home, right? From the Beast games to the whole renting the pyramids thing, it's clear he's constantly trying to top himself. But at what point does bigger and better start to come with risks that just aren't worth it? Shows like Survivor and Fear Factor? Total chaos. But they had safety teams and medical staff on site 24/7. Do I think MrBeast has safety measures? Honestly, yeah. There's no way a production this big doesn't have protocols in place. But Amanda's story shows us that even with precautions, cracks can form. Out of 2,000 people, accidents are bound to happen, but when someone leaves with a traumatic brain injury, it's a sign that something might need rethinking. And Amanda's not saying, cancel MrBeast. She's saying, let's make this safer. That said, credit where it's due. This show is wild in the best way. I've seen the first 2 episodes, and they're insanely well produced. The challenges are creative, the stakes feel real, and my favorite part, the end of episode 2, it perfectly captured the complex relationship between humans and money. But no spoilers, I promise. Here's the thing. Content like this has the power to inspire millions, to create moments that feel larger than life. But it also has a responsibility to care for the people who make those moments possible. At the heart of all this is a reminder. Success should never come at the cost of someone's safety or well-being. If we can balance ambition with empathy, maybe everyone walks away as a winner.